let's have a conversation.
I want to take this time to thank everybody for their support of myself, Mark, and the music and mental health movement. Please take this time to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to get notified of when I drop some more great content. Thank you.
Hi, Kamisha. Thank you. Hi, everybody. Welcome to this live. I just opened up this live because I wanted to talk about my success. I like that intro of the interviews. Thank you. I appreciate it. I wanted to talk about my success with getting this new job. So a lot of you know that I've been in somewhat of a hell type of situation with the job that I was occupying for the past couple of years. And then I had a personal family emergency, which led me to taking a break from said job. And then I had to come back to the job. And the thing is, while I was off the job, I was living out a lot of my dreams. I was doing a lot of things that I loved to do. I was spending a lot of time with my family, enjoying myself, living life. Hi, MC. Thank you. And then, thank you, Bev. Then the roller coaster ride kind of took a turn when I had to go back to back to the job. And it was tough for me going back to the job because it was out of sight, out of mind. It wasn't like I was thinking to myself, okay, I'm doing these things now, and then at a certain point, I'm going to have to go back to the job. I just felt like something is going to work out for me to where I don't have to go back to this job. Unfortunately, it did not. So the very first day, those who are subscribed to this channel already know that because I dropped a video explaining everything that happened to me the first couple of days on the job. About an hour before I had to clock back into work, everything just suddenly hit me like a ton of bricks. I knew the day was coming up. There was a week to go. And then there was 6 days. Then there was 5 days, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then I'm the day before having to go back into work. I felt kind of okay that night. I woke up in the morning. I was like, in a couple of hours, I'm going to clock in and then I'm going to do what I do. Everyone get the likes up, please. Thank you, Kamisha. So an hour before, I got really emotional about having to go back. It's just the weight of everything hit me. I can't even explain it. But the weight of everything just hit me all at once. And I felt really shaky. And then when I clocked in, I was like, this is the worst feeling ever. Because I didn't want to come back. I thought that something was going to work out for me to where I wouldn't have to come back. So that first day was just rough. And then they're welcoming me back. My coworkers, my boss, you know, everybody who missed me at the job was just like, Mark, I'm so happy you're back. I hope you're doing well. I hope your family is doing well. I hope your dad is doing well, etc. And I was trying to basically smile through tears, which is easier to do on the computer versus actually having to go into an office and do that, but hard nonetheless. So the first day and the second day and the third day, I was pretty much in a state of disbelief. Like, I can't believe I'm back here and I'm just going through the motions. I can't really talk about that too much, MC. I see your question, but I can't really talk about that too much. But a generic version of my answer is that things were not going right at that place. Things were not going right. I started that job during the beginning of the pandemic, during the shutdown. I was very excited to join the company. I was very excited about the work that I do, which is peer counseling. And if anyone doesn't know what peer counseling is, it's kind of along the lines of mentorship. It's not the same thing that a therapist would do, because I'm not doing mental health diagnoses, or I'm not doing treatment plans and everything like that a therapist would do. But what I'm doing is relating to people through my personal struggles with mental health, and a combination of that and my peer counseling certification that I picked up, which gives me some clinical background. So I was very excited because this was a new position. It just was created, and I was the first person that occupied that title. Thank you, IJ. I heard your struggle going back. I was the first person to occupy that title. And I was proud of that. I was like, wow, this company started up this new program, and I'm the first peer counselor that they hired for that program. And let's just say a lot of things did not go right. A lot of things did not go right with that. And I thought that I would not even still be in the company right now. But I fought for my spot. I had a lot of good circumstances happen to me at the right time that led me to staying in there long enough for an opportunity to open up. So I want to say this. When I went back kicking and screaming for the first few days. But then I said to myself, Mark, this is a means to an end. Thank you, Janice. Good to see you. Your face says a lot. Sure does. So I said, this is a means to an end. This is a means to an end. So I said to myself, I'm going to commit to doing this job the best that I can do it for as long as I have to. So I didn't even have it in my mind that I have an imminent situation coming up for me to leave. I just said, I'm here. There's nothing I can do about that. I need an income. I need my money. There's nothing that I can do about where I am right now. I can't leave because I need to get paid, because I need to pay my bills. So I said, just grin and bear it and do the best that you can do. Hold yourself up like a professional and make sure that you're doing what you need to do to stay where you are, but keep looking around. So just last Monday, this is how quick this happened. Just last week, Monday, I was browsing different jobs within the organization, because internal transfers are much easier to do than having to look for a whole other company. So I saw a position. I said, let me throw my name in the hat, see what happens. Went on there, sent them my resume, cover letter, answered the questionnaire. This was at 8 o'clock in the morning. 10 something in the morning, I already got a response. I got an email response, and then I got a phone call. And I was like, wow, this is real fast. So they were like, are you available to do an interview this week? So I'm like, wow. I put in the application and it took them 2 hours to reach out. I said, maybe that's how it goes with everybody. I wasn't getting my hopes up too high. But I said, yes, I'm available. So we scheduled in the day. And just the same way how I'll say that my preparation process that I have started to go through on this page, like when you guys ask me to present certain topics or when I interview certain people, that same preparation process I applied to this job. So as soon as they told me, we're locking you in for this job interview, I started doing my research. I started looking up potential interview questions. My sister, I have to thank my sister because she actually helped me by doing a mock interview with me the night before I did the actual interview, where she asked me some questions. And actually, several of those questions ended up being asked to me by the interviewer, by the way. So I'm thankful for that. A 2-hour email response and a call. Yeah, I think that I have to give myself some credit because I feel that no matter how I have felt at each various job that I've been at, I'm building up my resume. I've been working consistently now for a pretty good amount of time. I became a peer counselor in 2015. I got one of the first 300 peer counseling certificates because they just made the certificate in New York in 2015. I got one of the first 300 of them. And I've been working as a peer counselor for 8 years. It was a second career for me, but I have never been unemployed since the time that I became a peer counselor. I've always had a job. So I'm proud of that. Even though the road hasn't always been easy, even though the jobs haven't always been easy, even though the employers haven't always been easy, I have never been fired or laid off from a peer counseling job ever. So yeah, anyways, so I got to work on getting my interview prep together. And, I figured out like the proper outfit that I should wear because it was a Zoom interview. So I was like, business casual, casual. I ended up just throwing on a shirt and tie because they said to treat the Zoom interview the same way that you would treat an in-person interview, if not just for the look and the way you want to present yourself, but also for the way that you want to feel. Like if I showed up in a hoodie to an interview, I wouldn't look professional and I wouldn't feel professional. So it made me feel like, hey, I'm the man for the job. So this position, better pay, like a better situation for me. Possibly it's from the sounds of things in the interview, a better program. I'm skipping ahead a little bit. We had this interview and I feel like I nailed this interview. Like, I think that this was one of the best interviews that I've ever done because, like I said, some of the same skills that I've adopted for this page, for the things that I put on this page, are some of the same skills that I applied for this interview. I was really diligent with it. I went through so many possible scenarios and questions, and everything but maybe one or two things that I was prepared for, she asked me. And I felt like the interviewer was impressed. And I said, well, my job is done here. It's in God's hands now. See what he does. So I prayed about it, but I also was not thinking about it to an extreme degree because I was like, you know what? This is something, I have an anxiety disorder. Sometimes I have racing thoughts. So what that means is that I have to consciously decide to dial it down, to turn the thoughts off. So if every single day I was like, I wonder what's happening with the job. I wonder what's happening with the job. I drive myself crazy. So I was like, I'm just going to do the best that I could do, be in the moment, and give them a great interview and let the chips fall where they may, but continue to work at my job as if they're not going to give me the job. Just keep up with my day-to-day responsibilities as if I'm not going to get the job. So that's what I did. I just locked back into my work. I was like, I'm going to do what I have to do, make my calls, write my notes, all that fun stuff, and see what happens. And then today, my current manager, who I'm so thankful that I got, because I'll just say I'm thankful that I have this manager who I have now, the current manager who I have now. They contacted that person and they gave me a great review. And we had a meeting today and I was informed, like, hey, these people contacted me, the ones that you interviewed with, and they are interested. And then a few hours later, I was on a call. Hey, Lisa. A few hours after that, I was on a call. And just like that, they were like, we want to formally offer you this position. Will you accept? I accepted. I let my boss know, and the rest is history. Lord knows I needed a win this week. This was not my week. This was not my week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, terrible days. All three of those days, terrible days. On work, when I was at work, when I was off work, they were just really bad days. And it's been a really rough stretch, honestly, since I've been back at work, period. And I've been looking for another position and trying to get another position for more than a year. Okay? I've been throwing my resume everywhere. I've been on Indeed. I've been on all the job sites. I've been everywhere. Like, I need to find something else. This is hurting my soul. And I'm like, why do these people keep overlooking me? I don't understand. But here's the thing. Having to wait that long made me hungry. Because I said, as soon as I get my hands on this opportunity, I refuse to let it go. I refuse to let it go. So let's say that I was putting out these applications and they were calling me once a week. Different places were calling me once a week. I would be like, oh, I got this one. If I don't get it, there's going to be another one. And then I got this next one. And then I got this next one. A year. It was literally a year. A year plus since my last interview. A year plus. So as soon as I saw that, as soon as they contacted me for this one, I was like, you shouldn't have given me the opportunity, because I'm going to take this opportunity and run with it. It's the same way I feel about these different people who pass me up for these interviews. The same way I feel about, different people that I've tried to work with in the past and different opportunities that have passed me up. I'm like, that's okay. When I get my hands on the right opportunity, I'm going to run with it. And that's what happened here. Maybe all those other ones that I was going for before were not right for me. Maybe I was settling. Maybe I was selling myself short. Thank you, Charmed Life. Glad everything worked out for you, worked out, and you got this new position. So what this does for me, it takes this big mental burden off of me. It takes this huge mental burden off of me because I don't know if anyone knows the feeling of going to bed at night and already saying, here we go again tomorrow. Tomorrow hasn't even happened yet, and you're dreading tomorrow. You wake up and it's just like dread and really bad depression. That's what I was feeling every single day. I don't even know how I was keeping up with this because it's hard. It's hard. The wait sounds like it was necessary. Sounds like it came at the exact time, like you said, even more appreciated. Definitely came at the exact right time. Definitely came at the exact right time because the position just went up and they put me in the position in like a week, less than a week. 6 days from my interview. So they told me that if they decide to move forward with me in the process, they're going to schedule me for a second interview with this supervisor. They didn't even schedule the second interview. They just said, we want you in the position now. And that was that. So I was like, wow, that makes me feel wanted and valued for them to have moved so swiftly. And it's like, God can take any type of mess that you're in today and turn it around just like that. Sometimes that's why I always say sometimes you just have to hang in there and stay committed to the process, stay believing in yourself. You just have to stay consistently believing in yourself, even if you're in the mud right now. Even if you're in the darkest depths, the worst place you've ever been, you are just one good moment away from being in a totally different place than you were yesterday. You just have to commit to staying the course. I'm late, but it sounds like congratulations are in order. Stay blessed. Thank you, Donna D. I knew the assignment. Hopefully we were a distraction sometimes. I know keeping up with my comments is a lot of work on its own. I don't mind keeping up with the comments. It's just hard. What's on the lives, it's easier, but it's hard because I get so many notifications per day. So that's why sometimes you'll even see me circling back and responding to things from 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, because it's my first time seeing those things. And then sometimes I'll put up a video like me stopping behind a bus, and then 100 people will comment on that because they're so angry that I didn't go around the bus. You didn't go around the bus. You suck. Oh, man. The internet is funny sometimes. That video got 5,000 views in like an hour or two. Got like 5,000 views. You don't know how to drive. You don't know the rules of the road. I'm like, but I know that $250 ticket that I got in the mail. I definitely know about that. But yeah, I stayed the course, and it was hard because as much positivity that I try to talk on a day-to-day, sometimes it's a fake it till you make it type of situation with me. Even though I'm telling you all these things, it's not like I always feel them. Sometimes a doubt creeps in, and I'm like, what if these people are just not interested? What if there's something that I lack that I just can't identify, like something about me that makes them not want me or not want to hire me or whatever. Those kind of thoughts going in my head. But then I'm like, you know what? Even if where I am now, I'm not appreciated, it doesn't mean that I'm not valuable. It might just mean that the people that I'm working with now just don't recognize all my gifts and all my things that I bring to the table. And then the other thing is, that's like administration. It's not the first time I've encountered that. The thing is, I never have clients tell me that they don't appreciate what I'm doing for them. That's the whole thing. Sometimes you can get really murky or cloudy with your thinking when what administration is saying to you is kind of weighing you down. But when you want to know, when you want to get the real feedback, you get the feedback from the people that you're serving. You get the feedback from the people that you're helping. And if they're telling you, I'm so glad that I have you as a peer counselor. Thank you for all the work you're doing for me and with me. And I'm so glad that you called me, contacted me, and are helping me to stay on track and keeping me motivated and positive and all that stuff. That's the real feedback that you need to be paying attention to. It's like, to compare it to a YouTube page, all of you that I see here in these comments, I always see in these comments. There's a couple of random trolls that pop in every once in a while and say whatever they want to say. But it's like, those are not really the people who come to this page to get value out of the page. They're just here to troll. So I almost see those types of situations that work the same way. Like, you're just here to tell me I'm not good enough, so I'll work harder, faster, and do your different biddings. But the people that I'm actually contacting, the people that are on my caseload that I talk to every day and every week or every month, if they're not giving me that feedback, then I shouldn't be taking it to heart. And even if they were giving me bad feedback, still, the bad feedback from them would be more genuine feedback, because there's not money tied to it, or there's not monetary goals or reasons tied to it. It's just that they want to help, and I'm willing to take feedback from them. Yes, very familiar with fake it till you make it. Yeah. Congrats again. Thank you. You know, when I wasn't doing well mentally, which feels like a lifetime ago, 10, 11 years ago, I remember when my face had this huge scruffy beard. I had this huge scruffy afro. I wasn't going to the barber. I wasn't taking care of myself. And my mom used to tell me, maybe you should just, get a haircut, dress yourself up nice. And I was like, why would I do that when I feel the way that I feel? And she was like, well, fake it till you make it, dress for the job you or the part you want, not the one you've got. And I wasn't trying to hear that at the time, but I actually remember the first time I had gotten a haircut in months. Got my haircut. I got some new clothes, put them on. I walked outside. I felt like I was somebody. I felt like I had did something. And I have kind of carried myself that way ever since then. I remember when I was still working in the office and I had clients coming in to see me for counseling sessions. I'd be in there in my 3-piece suit. I'd have all my different shirts and ties and shoes and all that stuff. And they would always come into the office and treat me like I was like a big somebody. And I wasn't the biggest somebody in the office, that's for sure. I was, at least when we're talking about the corporate structure, I was down here. This is when I had just started doing that job. It was my first office job, as a matter of fact. But people treated me differently. And I felt like that was half of why I got the job in the first place, that particular job. Because they saw me and they were like, this guy carries himself like he values himself and knows his worth. So I think it's worth putting him in that spot and seeing what he can do. If he can back up the way that he looks and the way that he's acting. And I did. And I plan to do that again. Like my students or patients versus boss or management. I've quit jobs that I still cry about now because, yeah, that happens too often, sadly. It does. It does. It does, where people find themselves in situations where the population and the people that they are serving, they are very much committed to them. They really enjoy working with them. But the management situation just bogs everything down and weighs everything down to where they're like, I can't do it anymore. And it can be heartbreaking. I've been in that situation too. I have definitely been in that place as well, where I'm like, I was in a job like that actually a few years ago where I loved everything about the actual population that I was serving. But the management was so terrible. And it felt so hard individually letting each of those people know I'm not coming back. Heartbreaking. That's why one of these days I need to be my own boss. I'm happy about this. It is a stepping stone. It is definitely a stepping stone. I'm not afraid to say that because I even basically let the employer know that in the interview. So I'm willing to verbally and publicly say I'm always trying to move up. You're never going to see me in for me to stay in the same place, it has to be something that pays a lot. And it has to be something that is innovative and changes and it keeps it interesting and new and gives me different types of responsibilities. I don't think there's a job like that. I have to make my own. I don't think there's a job out there like that. Sorry. Had to leave a job I loved a few years back due to horrible management. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of us have been there, I feel. A lot of us have been there. Sorry to hear that. Isn't it the worst feeling? It is definitely the worst feeling. Yes, Mark, 100%. Keep climbing. And I'm saying that, Lisa, because I actually used to feel scared to verbally be like, I'm trying to advance. Because I used to feel like if I let an employer know upon starting that I'm trying to advance, maybe they'll skip me over because they'll think, oh, this guy's not going to be here for long. So let's get somebody with less ambition. But here's the, I lost the word that I was going to say. But here's the thing with that. If the employer is hiring you because they think they can keep you there and that you don't have ambition, then you're selling yourself short. So I would rather have that on the table. Like, hey, I'm letting you know I'm starting from where I agreed to start at, but I plan to advance. So as my skills increase and as I start to produce for you, you have to start giving me opportunities to move up. And if you don't give me the opportunity to move up, I'll find another opportunity that will be a step up, period. And when I learned that? Let me tell you guys a story about what happened to me in 2020. I fought back a lot of tears. Oh, man. In 2020, I was in a position that I had been in for about 5 years at that time. And I was making little money. I was making less than $30,000. And I live in New York City. So under 30,000 a year in New York City is nothing. Okay, it's nothing. So I was asking for a raise, and it wasn't even a massive raise. I just wanted to be in the 30s. I just wanted to be somewhere in the 30s. So I asked for this raise. I was asking for this raise. I was telling them I'm doing excellent work. I'm meeting and exceeding all the expectations. I'm maintaining my caseload. I'm doing all my notes on time. I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do. Please take me into consideration. I said that after 6 months. They said, we will reconsider in a year. So I worked hard. I kept going. I kept doing what I was supposed to do. I kept being a professional. A year came up. Asked again. I need this raise. Oh, yeah. We're busy with this and this, but we'll get back to it. I kept going, and I kept going, and I kept going, and I kept going. So the pandemic hits. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to ask one more time. I asked one more time. They gave me the runaround. So I went to find another job. I put my resume out there. I got 4 calls out of 4 that I applied for. They all called me. I did interviews with all 4 of them. 3 of them out of the 4 offered me a job. And they all 3 were paying higher than the job I was in now. So I picked out of the 3 which one I wanted out of the 3. I accepted. I gave my present job at that time my letter of resignation. And they, a very high level admin, like the 3rd on the corporate ladder, called me within like 30 minutes of me sending my letter of resignation to HR, and was like, Mark, what's going on? Why are you trying to leave? I was like, well, at that point in time, I was not even using this as a negotiation tool. I was just mad. And I was like, the other job, they pay way better than y'all. They respect me. They value me. They talk to me better. They treat me better. And they were like, oh, so this person was like, oh, so, well, what can we do to keep you? And I was like, well, first of all, it'll take this number. And the number that I gave them was a decent amount more than what the job that I was accepting was paying me. I was just throwing that out there because I'm like, y'all didn't even accept my raise request, which was much littler than that. They said, give me an hour and I'll call you back. Called me back in an hour, done. If you stay, boom, you're getting that raise. So I said to myself, how many times did I ask for a raise from this company? And they told me they don't have the budget. They told me wait for another 6 months and 12 months. Oh, we'll get to it, but we're busy with this and that. So it wasn't an excited feeling like, oh, they really want me there. It was like, if they're willing to give me this much more when I say I'm leaving, how much did they have in the budget for my position in the first place? And how much did I undersell myself in the hiring process? So once I learned that lesson, it was like, I'm never going backwards again. So that's part of why. I feel like that's part of why. When I say that I didn't have anyone contacting me, that's not true. I lied. Because I remember I did have some places contact me, but I asked them. I told them, this is what I need from y'all. And I want to tell you this up front because I have expectations. I don't just need another job. I have specific things that I want from the job. And if you can't provide that for me, then I'm not going to spend my time going through the application process. So I became very selective. And I was like, until I find the right one that matches my requirements that I have, I'm not even going to start the application process, because I've been in situations before where we don't discuss my expectations. We just discuss theirs. I go through the whole process. First interview, second interview, third interview. And then they're like, oh, great news. We got you here, blah, blah, blah. And now we're going to give you this great offer. And I'm like, what? If I knew that was the offer, I would not have even gone through any of that process. You got to let me know up front. So I'm not scared to do that either. If that disqualifies me, then you were probably hiding something. If me saying, I need to know this, or I need to know if you guys provide advancement, or I need to know a salary range, if that kind of thing is a turnoff for the employer, then that means that they're not for me, because you're trying to pull something shady. That tells you all you need to know about that company. Yeah. And it's funny because I still see that company posting. I see that company posting up my position, and it pays a lot more than it did when I was there, but I would never go back there. I would never go back there. And I hope one of y'all sees this one day, when this, especially when this page has a million subscribers. I hope that's when you see it. Because then at that point in time, I'll start to become one of those people like a 50 Cent, a Dame Dash. People that aren't afraid to be like, this is the name of the person that did this. I work for my state, and although the pay can be much better, I very much like that they are upfront about the pay before you even apply. Yeah, I require that now. I never used to. I used to just go in and be like, oh, well, I'll find out what they pay if they offer me the job, until I got some extremely low ball offers. I actually had a company tell me, we don't got it like that. When I asked them, when they gave me the salary that they were offering for me, and I said, I can't go that low, I need at least this much. The manager said, we don't got it like that. I was like, you should have told me you don't got it like that before you wasted all this time of mine coming into the office. First interview, second interview, like, don't waste my time like that. If you know you don't got it, tell me that up front. Wish someone told. Listen, you know how many jobs that I accepted just because I was like, I can't let this opportunity slip away, even though it was not really an opportunity. I mean, I guess I like to say that everything that you do in life is some kind of learning experience. But at the same time, if I had known that you can just be like, no, you don't have what I want, it would have saved me a lot of time and made me a lot more money in my lifetime. But I'm glad that I know this now. I noticed so many places will not even tell you the salary in the interview unless you ask. It's so ineffective. Exactly. And then if you get somebody who accepts the position at much less than what they wanted to go for in the first place, it makes that person disgruntled up front from the beginning, because they're like, I got lowballed. So because they feel like they got lowballed, you're going to get less of a quality of work. And I'm saying that because I've been there. So if they're up front and they're like, this is our range, and this is that's one thing that I'll say is wonderful about the company that I work with. They put the range on every single position. It's between this much and this much based on qualifications and years of experience. So I feel like their pay system is the most fair out of any company that I've ever been with. That's one thing that I'll always give them. I will always give them that. They tell you up front the salary range and the offers are fair. And they do the whole raise and annual bonus and all that stuff every year. Unless for some reason that you've underperformed or you're on some kind of probation or something. But aside from that, you're going to get your raise and your annual bonus. But yeah, I just wanted to share that success with y'all. Thank you all for your support. Not just for the support in terms of the channel, but listen, there was a point in time when I thought that all you guys were just watching for the Big Brother content. And Big Brother has been off, what, 5 months? 5 months since Big Brother has been on. I come on here and I talk about whatever. Talk about mental health. I talk about my life, my job, my family, the TV show that I went to. You know, I throw this on when I'm going for a walk, and y'all are here. So having this as an outlet helped me so much, especially when I first got back to the job. Because I'll tell you guys, I said that I was taking a mental health break the first week that I went back to the job. Hey, MILF man. I said that I was taking a mental health break when I first went back to the job, but I missed the page a lot while I was off the page. I did not miss the job when I was not at the job. So this has become one of my hobbies now. Transparency helps the trust, that helps the productivity. I don't know why it has to. And you know what, Lisa? That's the reason why I'm never going to be married to the corporate game. I will never have a marriage to the corporate game ever. I remember somebody told me, what if you get a position that pays so much and has such great benefits? I'm like, I don't care. Man, if that was a goal and a dream of mine, I would have started when I was 21, 22, and I had just finished college. That's when I would have started. And I would staple some papers together and say, yes, sir, and then move up little by little by little by little by little, creep up here and get this C-suite position, and then move up and up and up and up and up until I'm like 40 years deep and maybe I'm a CEO or something. But that's never been my goal. Have you ever committed to something for so long that you're like, I would be throwing the way that my whole philosophy and way of living, I would be throwing it away if I switched it up now? Like, what would be the point of all the struggling and the suffering that I've done to this point? If I just switch up my whole path now and do it the other way that everybody else has been doing it. So happy to see blessings coming your way. I love the quote you put in your community post 5 days ago about not giving your best is sacrificing the gift. I'm going to steal it. LOL. Steal away. Steal anything on this page. I mean, bigger pages have stolen things and not told me they were going to steal them, like Entertainment Tonight. Thank you, Kamisha. What job did you get? It's another job in my field, peer counseling, an easy way to describe it for people who don't know what peer counseling is that it's kind of like a combination of maybe social work, a little bit of care coordination, and a little bit of therapy. All three of those things, and some mentorship. So you basically get a caseload of clients, and you reach out to them and you see the various needs that they have. It could be they need a support system, just someone to talk to about their different mental health issues or personal issues that they're going through in life. It could be somebody who needs help scheduling doctor's appointments, dental appointments. What's happening right now? Well, I don't know if this is the case in Canada too. I assume it is, and other places, because I know it's not just Americans who are following me, but insurance companies are now hiring peer counselors, and the hopes for them hiring peer counselors is that they will reach out to the members and the holders of those insurance cards in hopes that you being a point of contact and a resource for them will prevent them from hospitalizations, particularly for mental health and substance abuse related reasons. And a lot of my clients that I've been working with have directly told me that me being a support system for them has prevented those things. So despite the fact that it's a thankless job on the on the administrative side, sometimes it's not a thankless job when it comes to the population that I'm serving. That's exactly me right now, except I'm excited for something new. I have no idea what it is, but I can't wait to make something happen. I almost feel sorry for people who don't feel that way, Lisa. I'm glad you feel that way. I almost feel sorry for people that don't feel that way, because I feel that everybody deserves to feel like I want to do something that just makes me wildly happy, that I have an amazing passion for that could never be killed or blown out or drowned out. I think everybody should be doing something that makes them feel that way. But most people are not. Let's be real. If I look through my whole family and talk to everyone in my family, they're like, the most of them are like, I did what I had to do to feed my family. I did what I had to do to pay the bills. Not many of them are like, this was my dream, and I worked towards this dream and I got it, and I've been living my best life since then. I want to be that person. I want to be that first person. And then be like, here's how I did it. Congratulations on getting the job and doing something you care about a lot. By the way, y'all, I can't wait for BB Can season 11. I've only seen season 5. Thanks to all you who recommended that for me. But BB Can season 11 is coming out March 8th. We have a start date. And when that comes out, I'm so excited to dive into another Big Brother season. And we'll be going back to back. Because when that ends, BB USA 25 is going to be at hand. And I get the feeling that, 25 is an anniversary season. Julie keeps posting about it on Instagram. We're probably going to have a return of some legends, because that's what it seems like. And it's going to be good. It's going to be a fun year. It's going to be a really fun year. Imagine a guy sitting on his couch watching a TV show one day, and then just is like, let me turn on a live video, see what happens. Turn on the live video, and I'm just watching the show and talking. I don't think anyone's going to watch me. I'm just like, let's just see what happens. I'm bored. And then people start jumping on and asking me, am I going to come on here the next day? Show up the next day, there's more people. The next day, there's more people. And next thing you know, a couple months later, the page pays me to talk. So anything can happen. Being open to things, to whatever the world is going to bring to you. And also stay ready so you don't have to get ready. That was something that I'm glad, Lisa, sometimes you say things that bring me back to my original point that I wanted to make and forgot along the way. But this is the last one that I'm going to say for real. This is the last one that I'm going to say. Stay ready so you don't have to get ready. The thing is, I went months and months and months without getting an opportunity. I wanted one badly. I needed one. But I said, even though I'm not getting the opportunity now, I have to stay locked in. I have to stay prepared as if my next big opportunity is coming tomorrow. So when I put in that job application, I wasn't sitting here like, I have all this stuff prepared. I was just prepared overall. I was like in a mental state where if anyone ever reached out to me, I'm ready. It's go time. I didn't, to be honest with you guys, I didn't even fully read through the position. I glanced at it. I was like, it looks okay. Let's just put my name in the hat and see what happens, right? And then when they said, hey, can you be ready by 2 days from now? I'm like, I stay ready. I don't have to get ready. I stay ready. Like if they said, can we interview you in 2 minutes? I think I still would have given a good interview if they gave me 2 minutes to prepare. If they said, can we throw on this camera right now? Well, maybe that's the only one that might get me because I wanted to put on my shirt and tie. I was still in work from home attire. But aside from that, if it was an audio interview, I'd be ready to go right then and there. So don't think that your situation can't turn around. Even if you've been in the situation you are in for days, weeks, months, and in my case, more than a year. More than a year. Yes, there were times when I was so down that I felt like I'm never going to get out of this rut ever. And to tell you the truth, that day that they responded to me for the interview was one of those days where I was like, here we go again. But then I said, you know what? Just be positive. Keep getting up and putting in those applications. Somebody's going to reach out to you eventually. They reached out right away. I got ready for the interview quick. They did it. I nailed the interview. They offered me the job in 6 days. Technically like 5 days, 4 days, 4 business days. Within 4 business days, they offered me the job. I accepted it. And overnight, in 1 day, I'm going to wake up tomorrow and I'm going to be happy. I'm not going to be in the new position yet, but I'm going to be happy because the new position is imminent. And it took a positive attitude, a persistent spirit, and keeping myself mentally prepared to be ready to seize that opportunity when it comes. And that's that. And Lisa, that was officially probably about 20 minutes after I said I was going to go. You know, we're going to start doing something. I've seen it. It's a fun thing that people do on other pages. Some pages are like the first person who jumps on the page on the live and drops a comment gets like $5 or something, Cash App or PayPal. I'm going to start doing something like that. The person who correctly predicts how long I end up staying on here, or the closest one to how long I stay out on here after I say I'm leaving, gets some kind of prize. We're going to start doing that when the Big Brother season starts. All right, y'all. Have a great night.